Love doesn't always look like what we expect. We think it should be loud, flowers, texts, deep conversations, long stares across candlelit tables. But sometimes love is quiet. Sometimes love looks like distance. If he loves you, he might ignore you because he's processing. Because love for him isn't about performance. It's about presence, even in absence. Have you ever watched a man sit in silence, lost in thought? Society teaches boys from a young age that vulnerability is weakness, that emotions are battles to be fought alone. And so when he pulls away, it might not be because he doesn't care, it might be because he cares too much. Sometimes he ignores you because he's afraid, not of you, but of what loving you means, of what it demands. Real love strips away the armor, and for someone who has spent years building walls, that can be terrifying. And then there's this, silence can be protection. Maybe he's carrying something heavy and he's stepping back, not to hurt you, but to keep from spilling that weight onto you. Love isn't just about being together, it's about knowing when to give space. We crave connection, and when it's missing, we panic. But real love, deep love, isn't proven in constant attention. It's tested in moments of uncertainty. So before you assume his silence means he doesn't love you, ask yourself, is this absence a sign of neglect, or is it his way of figuring out how to love you better? Because love, real, messy, imperfect love, doesn't always speak. Sometimes it listens, and sometimes it just needs a little room to breathe. We live in a world that teaches us that love is something to be earned, that if someone loves you, they will prove it in grand gestures, in endless attention, in constant validation. And if they don't, well, then they must not love you enough. But love, real love, is not a performance. It's not a perfectly scripted play with predictable lines and rehearsed expressions. It's messy, it's complicated, and most importantly, it's not about doing something just to be seen, just to be acknowledged, or just to check a box that says, I love you. Think about it. From the time we are young, we are fed stories of love that revolve around pursuit, proof, and presentation. The prince fights for the princess. The heroine waits for the grand romantic gesture. The idea is always the same. Love should be visible, obvious, and immediate. But that's not how love works in real life. Real love isn't about how many texts you get in a day. It's not about how often someone showers you with gifts or how publicly they declare their feelings. Because love that is built on performance is fragile. It only lasts as long as the show, and the moment someone gets tired of proving themselves or life gets in the way, it crumbles. True love is presence, not performance. It's about showing up, not in a way that is loud and obvious all the time, but in a way that is steady and consistent. It's about knowing that even in silence, even in distance, even in the quiet moments when nothing grand is happening, the love is still there. It's easy to mistake love for attention, to think that if someone truly cares, they will always be available, always responding, always making a move. But sometimes the most powerful kind of love isn't the one that is constantly performing, it's the one that exists without the need for validation. A person who truly loves you isn't playing a role to meet your expectations. They are loving you in the way they know how, in the way that is most honest to them. And sometimes that love looks different from what we imagine. So before you assume that someone's quietness means they don't care, ask yourself, am I looking for proof, or am I willing to trust in something deeper? Because love that lasts isn't about how well someone performs for you, it's about how deeply they remain, even when the stage is empty. From the time they are little boys, men are taught a silent rule. Emotions are dangerous. Crying is weak. Talking about feelings is unnecessary. Vulnerability is something to be avoided at all costs. It starts subtly. A boy falls down and scrapes his knee. Someone tells him, toughen up. He gets upset. Someone tells him, stop crying like a girl. He expresses sadness. Someone tells him, man up. Over time, he learns that emotions are something to be managed internally, not expressed outwardly. And so he builds walls. He learns to swallow his pain instead of sharing it. This conditioning doesn't disappear with age. It follows him into adulthood, into relationships, into love. And suddenly he's faced with a partner who wants him to open up, to talk, to share. But he doesn't know how. Not because he doesn't care, not because he doesn't feel, but because he spent his entire life being told that expressing emotions makes him less of a man. So when he's stressed, he pulls away, not to hurt you, but because that's how he copes. When he's struggling, he goes silent, not because he doesn't love you, but because he doesn't know how to put his emotions into words. Many women process emotions externally. They talk through their feelings, they vent, they express. But many men process emotions internally. They retreat, they think, they try to solve their problems alone. And if they can't find a solution, they shut down, not because they want to shut you out, but because they don't want to burden you. This is where relationships often get complicated. A woman sees distance and assumes he doesn't care. A man steps back and assumes she knows he's just trying to deal with something. But neither one is necessarily right or wrong. They just handle emotions differently. The challenge is that love requires understanding, not assumption. If he pulls away, it doesn't always mean he's rejecting you. If he doesn't respond the way you expect, it doesn't mean he's indifferent. It means he has been taught to navigate emotions in a way that might not match yours. This is why patience matters. Pushing him to talk before he's ready won't help. It might make him shut down more, but giving him space while reminding him that you're there, that's love in action. That's how trust is built. Because men feel just as deeply as women do, they just show it differently. And the more we understand that, the stronger love becomes. Silence is unsettling. It makes us feel uncertain, anxious, maybe even abandoned. We've been conditioned to believe that love should always be loud, that it should be spoken, shown, and constantly reaffirmed. So when someone we love goes quiet, we often assume the worst. But what if silence isn't rejection? What if instead it's protection? Think about the last time you were overwhelmed. So many thoughts running through your mind, so many emotions swirling inside you that putting them into words felt impossible. Maybe you needed time to process before speaking. Maybe you stayed silent because you were afraid that saying something in the moment might come out wrong. Maybe you needed space to sort through what you were feeling. Now, imagine that same situation, but from his perspective. Men especially have been taught to deal with struggles alone. Society has conditioned them to believe that emotional battles should be fought internally, not shared. So when he goes silent, it's not necessarily because he doesn't care. It's often because he's trying to protect you from his stress, his frustration, his uncertainty, or even his own inability to articulate what's going on inside him. Silence can be a shield, a way to keep you from feeling the weight of something he's still trying to carry himself. It can be his way of ensuring that he doesn't say something in frustration that he doesn't mean. Or maybe he's simply trying to figure out what he feels before he brings it to you. This is where many relationships struggle. One person withdraws to process, while the other interprets that withdrawal as emotional distance. The silence feels cold, unfeeling, even hurtful. And in response, the person on the receiving end of that silence might start to push, demanding answers, asking, what's wrong? Why won't you talk to me? But here's the truth. Sometimes pushing someone to talk before they're ready only makes them retreat further. It makes them feel pressured, cornered, like they have to produce an explanation even when they don't have the words yet. So what do? You recognize that silence doesn't always mean something is wrong with you. It doesn't always mean he's pulling away permanently. It means he's working through something in his own way. And instead of demanding immediate answers, sometimes the best thing you can do is simply let him know you're there when he's ready. Because real love isn't just about constant communication, it's also about trust. Trusting that even in the quiet, the bond remains, trusting that silence isn't always a wall, it can be a bridge, giving someone the space they need to come back stronger. So the next time he goes quiet, don't assume rejection. Instead, consider that maybe, just maybe, his silence is his way of trying to protect something that matters to him. You. Love is often portrayed as passion, romance, and grand gestures. But beneath all of that, beneath the butterflies and the excitement, there is something even more important, something that determines whether love will last or fall apart: emotional safety. Emotional safety is the foundation of any deep and lasting connection. It is the invisible thread that holds relationships together when things get hard. It's not about constant happiness or avoiding conflict. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, you are safe to be yourself with this person. Without emotional safety, love becomes fragile. It turns into a performance where both people feel like they have to act a certain way, say the right things, or suppress their true feelings to avoid upsetting each other. And the moment that happens, love stops being a place of comfort and starts feeling like a test, one where you're always afraid of failing. So what does emotional safety actually look like? It looks like being able to express yourself without fear of being judged, ridiculed, or dismissed. It's knowing that if you're upset, your feelings will be heard, not minimized. It's being able to share your fears, your insecurities, your past wounds, without worrying that they'll be used against you later. For men especially, emotional safety is crucial but often misunderstood. Many men have spent their whole lives being told to be strong, to suppress their emotions, to never show weakness. And if they've been in relationships where they've been shut down, laughed at, or made to feel like their emotions are too much or not enough, they learn to keep everything inside. They learn that silence is safer than vulnerability. When a man feels emotionally safe, he doesn't have to withdraw. He doesn't have to go silent out of fear of saying the wrong thing. He knows he can be honest, that he won't be punished for expressing his emotions imperfectly, that he won't be met with criticism for not always having the right words. For women, emotional safety is often about trust. Trust that they will be abandoned when they're vulnerable. Trust that their emotions will be dismissed as too much. Trust that their needs will be heard and respected. A relationship without emotional safety turns into a battlefield where both people are afraid to be real. Instead of intimacy, there's distance. Instead of communication, there's hesitation. But when emotional safety is present, love deepens. Conversations become more open. Fears can be shared instead of hidden. Love transforms from something fragile into something unshakable. So if you want a love that lasts, focus on more than just romance. Focus on building a relationship where both of you feel safe to be who you are, without fear, without judgment, and without the need to pretend. Because at the end of the day, emotional safety isn't just important in love, it is love. We often think love is about what's said. I love you, I miss you, I'm here for you. Words matter, yes. They can comfort, heal, and bring people closer. But words alone don't sustain love. Connection, deep, real, lasting connection, is about more than just talking. Because words without action are empty. You can hear I love you 100 times, but if the person saying it doesn't show up when you need them, if they don't make you feel loved in the quiet moments, those words lose their meaning. Love isn't just something you say, it's something you do. Think about the moments that make you feel most connected to someone. It's not always in the big conversations or the grand declarations. Sometimes it's in the way they reach for your hand in the middle of a crowded room, the way they remember the little details about you, the way you like your coffee, the song that makes you cry, the stories you tell over and over again. It's in the way they show up, even when no words are spoken. Connection is built in the silences, in the small acts of love that go unnoticed by everyone else. It's in the way he sits beside you after a long day, even if no one says a word. It's in the way he listens, really listens, when you talk about something that matters to you. It's in the way he makes you feel safe, even without saying, "You're safe with me." For men especially, love is often shown more through action than words. Society doesn't always teach them how to express emotions verbally, but that doesn't mean they don't feel deeply. It just means their love might look different. It might be fixing something for you instead of saying, "I care." It might be showing up when you need them most, even if they don't know what to say. Many relationships struggle because we expect love to look a certain way. We think that if someone truly cares, they will express it in the way we understand best. But sometimes love is being spoken in a different language, one that isn't made up of words, but of gestures, of presence, of consistency. This is why paying attention matters. If you're only listening for words, you might miss the love that's being shown in other ways. A man who loves you may not always say the right things, but he will show you. He will be there when it matters. He will make choices that prioritize you. He will express love in ways that may not be spoken, but are deeply felt. Because real connection isn't about how often someone says the right words. It's about how deeply they make you feel seen, safe, and loved, even in the silence. We live in a world that moves fast. Everything is instant. Instant messages, instant gratification, instant responses. We expect things to happen quickly, and when they don't, we start questioning everything. This is especially true in relationships. When we don't get an immediate response, we assume something is wrong. When love doesn't unfold as quickly as we want, we doubt its sincerity. When someone takes time to process their feelings, we wonder if they care at all. But love, real love, does not operate on a schedule. It does not always happen in the way we expect or at the pace we desire. And this is where patience comes in. Patience is what reveals the truth about love, because anyone can say the right things in the moment. Anyone can give you attention when it's easy, when emotions are high, when there's no challenge involved. But what happens when life gets messy? When doubts arise? When there's distance, miscommunication, or uncertainty? That's when patience becomes the test. A love that is real does not vanish in moments of silence. It does not disappear just because someone needs time. If someone cares for you deeply, their love will not fade because of a pause. It will persist through it. Patience separates what is temporary from what is real. If someone is only there for you when it's convenient, when it's exciting, when it requires no effort,